What's up, guys? Welcome back to the vlog. This is a very exciting episode because I have been waiting to do this since we picked up the car. We are literally just 2 minutes outside of Sheepey Race, and if you guys are not familiar with Sheepey Race, I will be giving you guys the introduction in the next minute. Man, the last time I was here, I just got the 458 tuned and I was ripping it around with Damon from DDE, and I also got my first drive in a twin turbo Huracan here as well. Ooh, we got the old gen, and now we got the new gen. We got all types of gens. One reason as to why we could possibly be here, and that's because I'm excited to announce that we're gonna be working with Sheepey to create a twin turbo kit for this car. Now, I know there's probably a ton of questions and timelines and all that type of stuff. Before I even act like I even know any of the answers to those questions, we're gonna talk to the boys back here and kind of just explain to you what our thought process is and how we're gonna go about tackling this, and kind of answer like power guesses, reliability, how are we gonna handle heat, what is our time frame gonna be, because all that, I mean, I don't know any of that stuff. Alex, you know a lot more about that stuff.
Nick and I understand the platform pretty well. So essentially, by the way, I'm Alex from Sheepey, Nick. So the first thing what we look at is when we start a new project is like room, right? How much room we have, because as you guys know, turbos do produce a lot of excess heat from the turbine housing. So keeping that controlled is factor number one, right? Factor number two is cooling. What I mean by cooling is like air to water cooling, right? The cool thing is single throttle body, Airbox dead center. So we can do is just one giant air to water box going straight to the throttle body. And next thing is we're gonna run a heat exchanger system to be able to cool the air, water going through the intercooler. And the ducting on the car is super cool. So as you pointed out, a lot of room in there. So there'll be enough room in there to put a heat exchanger to be able to cool the water going through the intercooler. We'll run a big core and try to fill it with a lot of volume to keep the intake air temps controlled. Clearly stock engine, stock tranny, we're not gonna go too wild with it. We'll keep the boost controlled. So I feel a heat exchanger in that system will be more than enough, you know, with a small little reservoir for water system. But you know, we specialize in the V10 platform that all have DCT transmissions. And for you guys that don't know what a DCT transmission is, a dual clutch transmission. Today's technology of transmissions that GM's now apply to this vehicle. So it's kind of cool because the way it shifts like at a 0.40 millisecond. Just to kind of give you an example of how quick that is, you blink at a 0.90 millisecond. So they shift super fast, super consistent. So when you apply boost to them, it just makes them that much of a funner car, right?
We're not trying to make like 1,000 horsepower, any crap like that. I mean, one of the first things I told Alex and Nick, I was like, look, I want this car to be, as I've been telling you guys, I want this thing to be on the track more than anything else, and I want this thing to be usable. And I mean, anything really over 700, I think on the street is completely like a waste. It's kind of, you can't really control it too much. So you thinking that
What we need to do is throw it on the dyno. We need to make, because a dyno is a tool. Now, one guy will say 700, 800. We need to know what it makes on our dyno, our chassis dyno. Then we know that the percentage gain on our dyno, you know, what do they market these things at?
500.
So maybe sometime next week you get it for like a free 3 hours, just throw it on the dyno.
No, I mean, you tell me it would come back and I'll be here.
I'll make it happen. I know you're busy. We'll throw it on the dyno and we'll see what the baseline is. Ideally, a good 120, 150 tops wheel horsepower over factory. Because you gotta remember, it's a DI engine, so we're limited to how much more fuel we have on top of what GM is already utilizing out of the factory DI system, right? Second is, it's a DCT tranny. From my experience with the V10 stuff, the DCT transmissions, the clutches are gonna be the first thing to slip. So we wanna keep those happy. And about 100, 150 wheel is the max on those, which is the same transmission manufacturer that makes this one. So we kind of already have an understanding how the clutches are gonna work.
Right.
So we're gonna keep about 100, 150, reliable, have fun, go track race it. And then you can cross bridges later if you wanna make more horsepower. But at the end of the day, you wanna, you know, everybody on the internet likes to throw around 1,000.
I know, yeah. I mean, that's what I was like off the bat. I'm like, look, we're not trying to make some like lie of a number. I want a twin turbo for more power and because it's badass, but I really want to look at the back here really quick because as you guys saw, it doesn't appear that there's a lot of room. And one of the biggest things I told Alex and Nick, I was like, look, I want to try to keep this trunk because as C8 owners, one of the coolest things is the T-top. You're going to want to try and use that. So whether or not we use maybe a little bit of the corners for maybe some air to water like management or anything like that, there's a stock airbox here that we can delete. And there's also a bunch of space underneath the car too.
So what we're probably gonna do is keep the turbos honestly right around in the area where the mufflers are. Okay.
So you'll be able to see them, maybe potentially.
100% you'll be able to see them. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, you'll be able to see them.
Oh yeah.
So the next thing comes the oiling system. A very tricky thing is the oiling system. So those are the things that I start looking at, right? It's a dry sump engine, but we don't know the extent of it, how to access certain things to be able to suck the oil out of the turbos.
Right.
Clearly the turbos are going to sit lower than the engine. So the drainage, just as you know, you've built turbo cars, you got to have the drainage that goes to the oil pan. So if the drainage is lower or even of the oil pan, then we need to somehow suck the oil out of the turbos and get it into the oil pan. Back when I built the Ferrari 458, that was a problem, so we had to put scavenge pumps on each turbo. No big deal, we had to throw scavenge pumps on it.
I remember you talking to me about that. You're like, it's just a lot more work to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, but it is what it is. It comes with the territory. You know, you can't expect to build every car the same way.
Right.
You know, you got to utilize size of room that you have, etc. So chances are, just to be safe, we'll probably throw scavenge pumps in it. Just why not? You know, it's a couple more hours of pumping. Yeah. So it'd be cool. And then from there, you know, the downpipes, essentially the exhaust system from the turbos, are going to go straight out into the tips. So we'll probably build some cool titanium tips or something nice.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
And then the airbox, we're going to just utilize the airbox area for the intercooler itself. Yeah.
There's a lot of room for activities right here.
So as it looks tight, it really isn't that tight. We work with much tighter areas at times. So.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest concerns I had when we first got it. I was like, man, where do you shove all the heat in there? But I was really curious to see what you guys were gonna say, because obviously this is your guys' jam. Like I said, timeline-wise, I'm not quite sure. I mean, we're definitely gonna get on it soon, but they have a shop that has normal customers, and we also have a million other things going on as well. So I'll keep you guys updated the moment we kind of like are gonna start getting on. And like Alex has said, maybe we'll do a dyno day sometime next week and kind of just get some baseline numbers. And we just plugged in the ECU. I didn't show that on camera, but from what you found on the ECU, is it somewhat manageable?
I have a certain hardware that is able to identify what ECU's in the vehicle. So I identified the ECU, and by identifying, then I could go to my upper people and say, hey, we're gonna be able to crack this ECU. And you guys gotta remember, there's always somebody unlocking something. It's just a matter of when. I'm going down their throat like, hey, can we unlock this so we could access, you know, because granted, we're gonna have to give it more fueling, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have to raise torque limits, so we need to be able to access the ECU. I do not specialize in OEM ECU myself, or a Motec guy, and I don't even want to call Motec because the chances of them developing a standalone plug-and-play kit in the next couple months is
not
gonna happen,
yeah.
Right, so we'll utilize the OEM ECU, which is great. It'll do the job for what we're gonna do.
And one of the biggest questions I think everyone watching has, what do you think reliability in this is gonna be? I think when some people think twin turbo doing this and that, it's scary, like not reliable, but I mean, as your guys' V10 game has shown, you guys kind of have it mastered, and we're not trying to set the world record or anything. We're trying to have usable power. So what do you think it's going to be like reliability and daily driver wise? I haven't asked you that yet.
As far as power?
Let's say we go 700, whether it's that higher or lower. Let's say we're at 700. Is daily driving, is this still going to be usable? Is it going to be annoying to drive? Is it going to affect any of that stuff,
so
or what's your experience?
I'm going to use an example. Let's talk about daily driving, and let's talk about turbo lag, okay? Let's rewind 20 years ago. Daily driving and turbo lag were the two most common questions. The internet somehow has held on to those things for 20 years as technology has grown. Let's focus on what's happened in automotive in 20 years. We have dual clutch transmissions, we have DI injection, which makes drivability phenomenal. If you do have port injections, you have companies like Injector Dynamics have great spray pattern injectors, you have great management, etc. So think of it like this. I always give my customers an example. What cell phone do you have?
iPhone.
Do you remember having the iPhone 1?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Do you remember having Nokia phone with the worm game?
I used to have that in like elementary school, yeah.
Okay, so good example. The Nokia with the worm game is just as bad as you asking is is it gonna be reliable to daily drive?
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So technology has grown. Let's stick with technology, guys. So the automotive industry, this is the industry how it's gone, right? When we get guys like, oh man, I want a twin turbo in my V10, is it reliable? I said, here are the keys in my car, go have fun. And they come back, it drives just like stock.
Yeah.
It's because the technology has grown as well, right?
Yeah.
With the way the transmissions shift, the way the fueling is. Being able to drive a car every day comes to fueling and air. Okay, if it's too much fuel, it's gonna sputter. If it's not enough fuel, it's gonna misfire. In having a perfect atomized fuel in the cylinder, direct injection does that. As far as driving factor goes, it's gonna drive just like stock. So the way it drives now is exactly how it's gonna drive when it's turbo. The only difference is when you ease into the throttle, it's gonna be responsive.
Unless you drive at 100% throttle all the time, which most of you probably don't, you know, you sit in traffic, it's gonna drive like a normal car. You won't even notice it's turbo until you
I drive that car every day.
Get on the throttle.
Yeah.
And then it's just gonna drive like stock, but much faster.
All right.
So as you can see how dirty that thing is.
Yeah, I was gonna say that thing is not clean.
I drive it every day. It's been raining here for 5 days.
And how much does it make?
That makes 1,300 to the wheel.
Yikes.
Every day. So,
all right.
moral of the story is that reliability is clearly reliability is in our hands, right? Clearly, we're not going to get crazy with shoving 30 pounds of boost in it. Chances 5 pounds of boost, right?
Ease into it. See what it does.
Yeah.
See what it likes. See what it doesn't like.
We don't want to break anything mechanical.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even know if you can get replacement parts for this yet. I'm not even sure. But
So with that being said, we'll just go ahead and increase it by 15 to 20% more power, and we'll leave it there.
all right, before we head out, I wanted to show you guys this car right here. This is an example of what to expect as far as quality coming from Sheepey. This is beautiful. So this is a Huracan Evo. Beautiful billet as well. That's baller. How much is this thing gonna make?
Oh, we already got done with it. 1,100. It's tuned and done. The only thing we're doing is because it's a new Evo. The can code's a little different, so we're just put the factory CUs in. Just to sniff the can system to update it. But other than that, the car's completely done.
Damn, that's hectic. All right, well, I'm looking forward to walking Evos soon, so. All right, I'm gonna get out of these guys' hair. They got shit to do. It was nice meeting you guys. I'll see you soon, all right? What we are gonna do with Sheepey is gonna be probably a world's first. I'm so excited to finally do a build with them. We've been wanting to do something together for so long, and we thought about doing the 458, we didn't do it. We thought about doing the Aventador, decided not to do it, and when the CA came about, I knew that was definitely gonna be the platform that we were finally gonna be able to work on something together. And they are a normal shop, they have their own stuff going on, and like I said, so do we. Probably starting next week, we are gonna come back, we're gonna start the process, we have to do some dyno pulls, collect some data, and get some information. And boys, as the start of like next week, we'll probably go ahead and get started on this thing and start tearing it apart. They are about 45 minutes from where we live, but we're probably gonna make daily trips up there to work on them with it, because that's one thing that I really wanna try to do, and I'm pretty sure they're gonna say it's fine, is I'd like to be there every day to document the process and be a part of the building process, rather than just drop it off and get it picked up when it's done. So hopefully we can capture a lot of content and really show you guys what it's gonna take to get this thing twin turboed. We are meeting up with Sabrina's family for lunch, and after that we are gonna go look at some housing that's brand new in our area that we wanna go check out. Not that we're trying to move anytime soon or anything like that, but we always like looking at the new houses, and I kinda have this thing where I try to go and visualize goals. And one thing I really wanna have is an actual house, and I always have to go and visualize stuff, and I really think it's important for all you guys to do the same. If you have those goals, visualize it. Even if it's out of your range, whatever, go and see them and just get the feeling of what it's gonna look like, because vision boards are everything. House number 1. First thing that needs to be seen is the garage, Sabrina. This looking is quickly gonna turn into buying, and
okay, so there's nothing on that side except the bathroom and kitchen.
no.
And then
Pretty cool. This is the first floor plan, right?
yes, this is
And it's a 1-story?
yes.
Hmm.
So here's the bedroom.
This is weird. It's like why is there a kitchen in here?
Damn, this is like it's like a guest suite.
Wow. Dude, a game room? I'd never have to leave.
Look,
I could make food while playing games.
Laundry in the guest room.
There's a walk-in closet in the guest room.
This is not.
So the master bedroom is just all glass, and the bathroom, I'm in a hotel. Holy moly. Oh my God. I would have, look at all this storage space for my shoes. House number 2. This is getting ridiculous really fast. This is the gnarliest backyard thing I've ever seen.
TJ,
What?
think about the dogs. Like that's the only.
I know the boys would be able to go anywhere they wanted. All right, I just found the layout that we want. Damn. Big T just getting a little pee nap, a little power nap. Recharge the Todd juice.
Tea juice. Is it recording? Yeah. Are you gonna tell them why I'm ending the video? What? Okay, TJ shoved me the camera in my face because, let's see, what did we do? Okay, we went to Outback Steakhouse. We had a really good meal, filled ourselves up, blue and onion. If you guys haven't gotten it there, definitely a must. And then we went back to my parents' house, and Big T is a little bit of a whiskey connoisseur himself, and so he had TJ try some, and this is the aftermath.
I was like, I can hang.
Yeah.
I said I can hang.
TJ was like, he took one sip, was like, okay, that's pretty gnarly. My dad was like, no, just ease your way in. It gets better once the ice starts to melt. Then TJ got a little bit into it, and now he can barely walk. And he's like, Sabrina, I had to do that in my video because I can't do it. Hey. Yeah, here he is.
Hey.
I'm unmaking the bed. Hey, why don't you get in bed?
Hey, she drove the vet home?
Oh my gosh, yeah, I did.
She ripped it.
I ripped it, okay, you guys. I pedaled to the metal, and then TJ was trying to make me like really.
Wait, Sabrina, I'm going to bed.
All right, you guys, so as you can see, I am going to have my hands full, so we're gonna end it here. Thank you so much for watching. TJ, do you wanna do it with me, or should I just do it by myself? Peace out and keep moving forward.